Hello and welcome back. From this video onwards, we will study the chronology of history since the prehistoric times. We will first read about the Paleolithic Age, which is before 10,000 BCE, and then go on to the Mesolithic, Neolithic, so on. We shall see. Now, we will follow the same pattern for the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic ages, which is that first we will understand what are the sites. Okay, first we will understand what are the uh, sites in India, or at least the Indian subcontinent. Then we will go on to see the lifestyle and other details about it. So coming to Paleolithic or Old Stone Age, the sites are the Soan Valley and the Patwar Plateau on the northwest of India. So this is in modern day Pakistan. This is the first site. Okay. The second site are the Aravali Hills, sorry, the Shivalik Hills in North India. The Shivalik Hills in North India. Then there is Bhim Bhetka in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. Then there is the Narmada Valley. Remember in last class we had read about the Great Dividing Line and that the Narmada River was a part of it. So the Narmada Valley is another site. Then you have Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh and Attiram Pakkam near Chennai. For now, just remember these places or just remember the image of these sites. As in how we read, we will understand why exactly these regions were the sites where Paleolithic life started. We'll come back to them. Now, I want you to zoom into any one of these sites. If you zoom in on any one of these sites, what will you observe? You will see a community of people living here. Whether it is in caves, whether it is inside caves, you will find some people doing some sort of work, some others engaged in some maybe recreational activities, and so on and so forth. You will see a typical community life happening here, right? And this community life is what we have to study. First, we study about their shelter, then food habits, tools, and way of life finally. These are the things we need to learn about each of the phases from Paleolithic to Neolithic. Roughly, these will be the topics that we will be dealing with. Let's start. First, coming to the food. So during Paleolithic time, the people depended upon hunting animals and hunting and gathering. Okay. So therefore, they were called hunter-gatherers. This was the most primitive stage of subsistence. Okay. So Paleolithic people were hunter-gatherers. Then let us see what sort of tools they were using. They used stone tools, they were hand-sized, and they were flaked off large pebbles. Means if you take a large pebble and if you flake off its sides, I hope I am being able to draw it, you will get a pebble like this, and now with this edge you can use it for killing animals, you can use it for chopping, etc. So yeah, for hunting animals, as you can see. And another point to be noted is that the hunting required a group effort. So this shows that there was a sense of community among the Paleolithic people. Okay, because for hunting, we just saw that firstly the tools are that of stone. Okay, then the stone tools are used for hunting, and hunting can't happen singly. Like a single person can't do the hunting, you need a group of people. So this tells us that the Paleolithic people lived in a society. Another important thing is that the stone implements were made of hard rock and known as quartzite. Were known as hard rock, known as quartzite. So there were stone pebbles and there were quartzite stone implements also. Now you must be thinking, what is this annotation out here? It is disturbing. It is a river, but I think it's just poorly drawn here. Okay, see, as we have seen that stone tools and quartzite tools, tools made of stone and tools made of quartzite were being used. Now where do you find these stones? You find them at the bank of river. Say this is a river. At the bank of the rivers you find large stones, and from these stones the tools were made. So this also indicates that the Paleolithic life existed on the banks of rivers. And this brings us back to the first point. Observe that all the, or at least most of the Paleolithic locations are by the side of watered bodies. Like this is the Potwar Plateau, but it is on the banks of, but it is on the Son Valley, that is on the banks of the Son River. Then these are the Shivalik Hills. So obviously you get stones here. Then this is Bhimbetka. This is the Narmada Valley. So on the banks of the Narmada River, you get those resources required for uh, life to exist. Then same for Kurnool and Attipakkaram also. Okay. After tools, let us see what their language was. So we do not really have a lot of knowledge about what language they were using. Okay. In the Paleolithic age, that is before 10,000 BCE, we do not really have an idea of their language. Let us come to the way of life. This is important because you must have observed there are questions about society, about way of life, or even if you have not observed, as in how we do the PYQs, you will see that there are questions on the life or questions on the society and the quite generalistic questions on the religion of prehistory, Vedic ages. Prehistory and then IVC, then the Vedic ages. So we need to understand the way of life. With the time, with the passage of time, the way of life went on improving. Okay, there were attempts to domesticate animals. They made crude pots and grew some plants. Now understand that they were mainly hunter gatherers. Okay, they were mainly hunter gatherers, so agriculture was not known to them. And since there is no agriculture, so there is no domestication also. Hence, you will see very, very primitive form of uh, domesticated animals, a very, very primitive form of domestication of animals, and very primitive form of planting. Okay. Then, a few old age stone paintings have also been found in Bhimbetka. So, it tells us that people did engage in recreational activities. Then, hunting of large animals, like we have already seen in the first point, that the hunting required a group effort. So, it tells us that there was a sense of community or society. Okay, and lastly, because they used stone tools which are available on the bank of rivers, so they must have lived besides water bodies. This is all that we come to know about the way of life of the Paleolithic people. We will study about the Mesolithic people in the next video.
आज के लिए फिलहाल इतना ही। आपकी तरह मैं भी मायूस हूं, लेकिन उम्मीद पर दुनिया कायम है। दिल दुखा है लेकिन टूटा तो नहीं है, और उम्मीद का दामन छूटा तो नहीं है। इसलिए आज के लिए इतना ही।